because we know it's time for At the Movies with Tim Sika, and he is so wonderful. It's Tim Sika, everybody. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good, good. No, not bad.
How's the week?
The week is good. I thought we were going to get some more rain today, but is it raining where you are? It's not raining
Mm,
over here.
it's been a little drizzly, but not much rain. Boy, the other night though, it sounded like the world was falling on
I
top of my
know.
house.
Yeah, yes, yeah, I think it was yesterday here. Yeah, it was pretty heavy over here in Campbell, but yeah, not much
Mhm.
today. So, and I always welcome the rain because it makes the air smell so good afterwards, and
It
you
does, and
know.
you know what else? It's perfect movie watching weather, I think.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, what a great segue into what we're going to talk about.
The first movie you have for us is it Frankenstein?
Frankenstein. Yeah. Have you seen it yet?
I
It just dropped on Netflix. It was playing in theaters,
okay.
but it just dropped on Netflix, and this is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein getting yet another cinematic treatment. My gosh, there have been so many Frankenstein movies.
I know.
It really, I mean, but this one is from filmmaker and Oscar-winning director Guillermo del Toro. I'm talking too fast here. Whose 2017 monster movie, The Shape of Water, was accorded, God, a truckload of Academy Award nominations. I think it was 13, and it won 4, including Best Director and Best Picture. Well, I personally think this Frankenstein, is a much better movie, I think, than The Shape of Water. But that's neither here nor there because we're not going to compare them. But like in The Shape of Water, the monster here in Frankenstein, effectively rendered by Jacob Elordi, a young actor, is humanized. And as I was watching this, and I'm thinking about it afterwards, I kind of came to the conclusion that this hasn't been. I wouldn't say this was a banner year for movies, but I mean, people say that every year. But I think that this one may well be one of the best pictures of the year. It's divided into 2 parts. The first part is, and this is where it's a little different from its predecessors. The first part is primarily from the perspective of Dr. Frankenstein, the quote unquote mad doctor who creates this monster. And he's played by Oscar Isaac. And the second part of the movie is from the perspective of the monster himself. So that's kind of interesting. And
Mhm.
yeah, pretty much everything about this movie worked. Everything from the acting to the look of the film with its astonishing production design and breathtaking cinematography. It's just so beautiful to look at. And the script's excellent. It's faithful enough to the Mary Shelley novel with some new additions by Del Toro. And it's a literate and moving motion picture experience with some great dialogue exchanges, visually positioned and shot almost like a Gothic opera. It's so grandiose. Even if you're familiar with many of the previous cinematic Frankenstein iterations, the famous Universal Frankenstein, the first 2 James Whale movies, Frankenstein and The Bride of Frankenstein, the Hammer film Frankenstein movies, the Kenneth Branagh version with Robert De Niro as the monster, I still think dyed in the wool fans of Frankenstein will find a whole lot to love here in this latest Frankenstein movie, written and directed by Guillermo del Toro, and it's now streaming on Netflix, and I recommend it.
Why do you think this story, which has been told and retold and retold,
Oh, I
what is it about
know.
Frankenstein that keeps us coming back and keeps people retelling? Are there different angles here? Is there a whole other side to the story that we've missed? Why do we keep going back here?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think there are just some. What are the what are the what's the Jungian thing? I think there's some archetypal
Mhm,
things in this story about, I don't know, like playing God,
mhm,
playing God, creating life. Uh, Maybe some grist about maybe the monster is actually really us, or we're
mhm.
no different from the monster. I think there's universal truths that are subtextually active in this story that they don't hit you on the head, but they're there somehow. It's just like, oh, I'm just trying to think of any film that any film that's like constantly remade and stuff. Obviously there's something and I'm trying my best here to answer that question. There's something in those movies that speaks to people's souls, which is
Yeah.
why they keep remaking them. Again, this one is a little the difference with this one and the others is that the way it's laid out. There's two halves. The first is from this perspective of the doctor who created the monster, and the second half is from the monster's perspective.
Mhm.
So that's in itself interesting and allows for sort of different I don't know, extensions of some of the things I've been just trying to articulate. It's just and it's close enough, and yet it's different enough to make for another good watch. And I've seen just about every Frankenstein movie that's ever been made. This one's really up there. It's really, really good.
This comment from John Watson, I did not know this. He says Mary Shelley was only 18 years
Yeah.
old when she wrote Frankenstein. I didn't realize she was so young.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she was a mere child when she wrote that.
Yeah.
When she wrote Frankenstein. Yeah, John's correct.
Ophidian says my favorite Frankenstein's monster was Herman Munster.
Oh, there you go, Herman Munster. Oh well, we don't want to forget Young Frankenstein, right? Either
Oh,
the Mel Gibson, the Mel Brooks movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
Eileen saw it, said Frankenstein was wonderful, so enjoyed it as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it was playing in theaters, I think, for about 2 weeks, as is Netflix's want during award season. They do a qualifying theatrical run so that the movie gets considered for Academy nominations, and then it goes right to Netflix. It's a beautiful looking film. I did see it on a screening link, but I imagine in the theater it's quite an amazing experience. It's an amazing experience watching it on a computer screen, let me tell you.
This next movie is called The Alabama Solution.
Oh God, yes. Yeah. This is a brilliant, sober, and devastating new documentary. It's co-written and directed by Andrew Jarecki, of capturing the Freedmans. Kim, did you ever see that? It's
No.
that movie put this guy on the map. It was a 2003 investigative piece about child molestation. It was really intense. Anyway, this one, The Alabama Solution, it's now streaming on HBO Max, and it is just wow. It's a damning indictment of the Alabama prison system, which, according to this movie, reeks of corruption and brutality and exploitation of its incarcerated men, who, via the use of contraband cell phone footage, which the inmates surreptitiously shared with the filmmakers, shed a light which should outrage anybody who watches this movie on what is going on inside the Alabama prison system, where prisoners are basically treated like animals by sadistic guards. I mean, the disturbing cell phone footage that we get to see in this movie speaks for itself. It's like the Alabama prison system is this cesspool of corruption, bribery, physical brutality, and by any other name, it's just another form of human slavery, and they go into detail on that. But it's a shocking and unsettling movie, which not only exposes the Alabama prison system's corruption, but also exposes the racism and outright ignorance of Alabama's political leaders. I mean, the governor, the woman governor, I can't remember what her name is, you just want to shake her. I mean, these people are way more, my takeaway, these people are way more interested in money than they are in prison reform and the rehabilitation of its incarcerated men, who are primarily, guess what? African American, right? No surprise there. And one of the astonishing statistics in this movie that kind of just stood me on my ear was that every year these incarcerated workers produce over $450 million in goods and unpaid services for the state of Alabama. Can you believe that? And that's only a fraction of what we learn in this movie. And what is the Alabama solution? It's build more prisons and ignore the serious examination of the root cause, which is at the core of this issue. Alabama prison officials and politicians aren't focusing on anything resembling rehabilitation. Simply put, all they care about is money. And the movie goes into that in great detail. I was disgusted. I was moved and just outraged over what the Alabama Solution captured on film. It's an incendiary piece of work, something all of America should see and be up in arms about. I mean, it is. There she is.
Governor
Oh boy.
Governor Kay Ivey is her name.
Kay
Mhm.
Ivey, that's right. She's a very smug lady, very ignorant too, and very racist too.
I'm
Anyway,
I'm
yeah.
willing to bet that those prisoners don't have those cell phones anymore after this release of this movie.
Yeah, I wondered. Yeah, I wondered about
Mhm.
that. Yeah, probably not. Well, they're not supposed to. Apparently, there was a technicality in the film that it's illegal for them to have cell phones, but it wasn't because they're incarcerated. But it wasn't. It was determined, I guess, in the courts that it wasn't illegal for the filmmakers to use this footage because they were on the outside looking in. But it's an incredible movie, and it's a nail biter too. I mean, you can't look away, but at the same time, it's hard to look at. What you see is very difficult to digest, that this stuff goes on. And there's these guards are dealing with drugs, and they're feeding them to the addicts who they abuse. I mean, it's just
Mhm.
it's a it's a very good film, but it's also very intense and not a lot of fun. But it's worth seeing for sure, and
It's
it's on HBO Max
it
right
seems
now.
like one of those movies that you don't want to see, but you need to
Yeah,
see, right?
yeah, yeah. What do they call those?
So that because you can't
Yeah,
look away from something like this. It can't ignore it.
yeah. What do they call them? The like Eat Your Peas movie, or I think they call these kind of movies.
Oh, is
It's
that what
good for
it's called?
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, Eat Your Peas. Yeah, it's good for you, but you're kind of going ugh as you're chewing.
but you don't want it.
You don't want
Yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah.
Well, totally necessary because whether you want your peas or not, we go through life having these
Hmm.
opinions and having these thoughts. And a lot of people think, well, they're criminals. They're their fault for breaking the law. They reap what they sow, right? Deserve what they
Hmm.
get. But
Yeah.
until you see something like that, and I haven't seen this movie yet, but based on your description of it, until you see something like this, you
Hmm.
can't really form a correct opinion until you have all the information about
Right.
what's really happening in our
Right.
country to these
Yeah.
people and
Yeah.
our cruel and unusual punishment that we're doling out in situations like this, which is unconstitutional. So we have a choice
Exactly.
to make.
Yeah.
Are we American and do we stand for certain things or do we not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vote for Kim McAllister for Congress.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
No,
go.
really.
No,
And
don't vote
they
for me.
yeah, well, yeah, and they interview too on camera one or two of these guards, and these guys, I mean, they get off beating the out of some of these prisoners. I mean, they enjoy it. And what's interesting is they're shown footage like you did this. You bashed this guy's face in when he was not resisting. Look, and you killed him. And the guy, I can't remember his name, one of the guards is like, I don't remember that. No, I don't remember that. So I mean, total denial. I mean,
Wow.
it's an amazing, amazing, shocking movie.
I wonder if there have been consequences because of this movie.
Well, I don't know. It's only been out. I'm trying to catch up with some of the documentaries that are being
Mhm.
considered for awards, which is also the next one I'm going to talk about. But this one's been out about, I think, a week and a half. I don't know if it played. It probably did a qualifying run, but it's mostly on HBO. I don't know. That would be an interesting question to ask the filmmaker. Like, is it having any effect? You know?
Tammy says people are a money-making commodity in the prison system, very corrupt.
Yeah,
Myra's
yeah,
saying there's enough sad and tragic stuff happening daily.
yeah,
Yeah, it's painful. This is painful
yeah,
to see this kind of stuff.
yeah.
All right, so we move forward with our next movie, and this one is called, is it Riefenstahl?
Yeah, you got it. This is another enraging but superb documentary film. I think this may be the fifth or sixth documentary about Adolf Hitler's Third Reich film director, darling.
Mm.
Her name was Leni Riefenstahl. And we all know Riefenstahl was and remains a controversial figure. There's several ways to look at her. On one hand, her brilliance as a film director could be argued, and you could say, yeah, I mean, she was a master filmmaker, and she was second to none in a lot of respects, most technical, but also in the end very emotional. However, the application of that brilliance was and always will remain in moral and ethical question. And I think this latest documentary, thank God, once and for all, because all of the other docs about her were made while she was alive so she could sue them for defamation. This one was not. Leni Riefenstahl died, I think it was in 2003. She was 101. I don't know what it is about these Nazis that they live forever, it seems. But so anyway, so yeah, this latest documentary, once and for all, because she's not here to really answer, although we do get some footage of her being defensive as hell, paints her as the narcissist, egotist, artist who felt that the ordinary rules of life did not apply to her, Nazi sympathizer and hardwired fascist that at her core she truly was. I don't care how quote unquote great a filmmaker people like Quentin Tarantino, Madonna, and Andy Warhol thought she was. She should now and forever, in my opinion, forever be condemned to the hell of human history for all time for using her art to further and celebrate Nazism, for her racist remarks, for her racist views, for her worship and friendship of Hitler's architect, Albert Speer, until his death in 1981, and for using children as extras in one of her movies that went on to be, these kids went on to be murdered at concentration camps like Auschwitz or Dachau. She epitomizes, in my opinion, the basic flaw in the German character. Well, I guess basic flaw in the human character really is more accurate, that of human superiority, which allowed Hitler to rise to power through her art, her ego, her narcissism, and in the end, her refusal to admit and take responsibility for the role she played as the woman who documented on film the Nazi menace and in the perpetuation of the Nazi regime. Because let's face it, I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you ever get a chance, it's online. There's a movie she made called Triumph of the Will, the film for which she will be best remembered. That film was so powerful that when American filmmaker Frank Capra, who was a very big director in the 30s and 40s, multi-Oscar winner, he also made a series of World War II U.S. propaganda movies. When Frank Capra saw that movie, he exclaimed in abject horror that something like, we the U.S. can't possibly win this war. So she also made a film for Hitler called Olympia, which documented the 1936 Berlin Olympics. Anyway, I could go on. This story, this woman, this defiant, self-absorbed, self-obsessed, selfish woman, watching this made my blood boil. And, there's much here that will rile any rational, compassionate, sympathetic, or empathetic viewer, especially when we set alongside what the world politically is going through now. When we watch this movie and what we're living through now, it's particularly, disturbing, upsetting. Anyway, it's a great movie. It's a great documentary. And also one of the best films of the year. So I recommend it. It's streaming on Amazon Prime. So
did you say this is one of the best movies of the year?
Yeah, it's probably going to go on my list if I ever get around to putting one together.
Okay. I wonder, is this going to be, you think, considered for best documentary at the Oscars?
I believe, yes, it's in contention for sure.
Okay.
But we'll see, as with these movies too, it's like, money is the critical factor. Are the distributors, do they have enough money to do an Oscar campaign and get this movie in front of Oscar voters? We'll see. But it's a great film. Yep.
Your next selection is called In Your Dreams.
Yeah, this was a nice surprise, especially Kim, when viewed in context of the dozens and dozens of animated features being released today, which have a similarity of feeling and style to them. This has some of that, but I think it goes, a step beyond. Okay, so the premise of In Your Dreams, it's kind of refreshing. Okay, yeah. So I should say that this is a feature-length animated film. It's the directorial debut of an animator named Alex Wu, who worked at Pixar on some of their big animated movies. He kind of set out on his own and he started a new studio for animation. And it's about a little girl named Stevie and her brother named Elliot, who magically travel into the world of dreams in search of the Sandman, who would grant their wish of saving their parents' marriage.
Oh,
And so, yeah, this is the
how
story.
sad, kind of in a
Yeah,
way,
well,
you know?
it kind of is. Yes, it kind of is, but it also kind of is not. I mean, it's yeah. This is where I think it kind of stands out from recent animated fare and even some of Pixar animated fare. So it's a story too of the wonder and the magic of dreams and what they may mean,
Mhm.
nightmares and what they may mean and how to get past them.
Right.
There's some stuff in here about lucid dreaming, the pain children go through when they see or when they sense that there might be cracks in their parents' relationship, how that
Mhm.
affects them, the difference between reality and fantasy, how love in a family can survive even when life doesn't go according to plan. I mean,
Right.
there's lots of stuff like that kicking around in a film that's is ambitious technically as it is gorgeously animated. It's got vivid imagery and some really imaginative set pieces. The brother sister dynamic between Stevie and Elliot is really touching and very very believable, and there's a lot of truth in that. There's also a lot of truth about the film that's undeniable, is where it's a way to look at life that's empowering for kids even when life can be messy. So
Mhm.
I don't know, what am I saying in summation? I guess this is a visually stunning, deeply emotional film about love and family and the courage to face our fears, our everyday fears, whether we're dreaming or whether we're awake.
Mhm.
So I highly recommend it, especially for family viewing. It's a nice movie to watch around the holidays too, I think. And it drops today, I think, on
Oh,
Netflix. So
this goes immediately on my weekend list for Jacob and
okay.
I.
I
Yes.
think I think I think you
Mhm.
guys will really really like it, and it's very sophisticated too. It's not. It. I think the wee ones will enjoy, some of the fantasy about it, but it's for kids of all ages. Even the older ones, younger teens too. It's
Okay.
excellent movie. Yeah.
Well, if I can corral my teen, I'll try to bring her in, but she's so busy now, so it'll
I
probably just
know. I know
it'll be
she's on she's on TV and everything.
Did
I
you see
noticed.
that? I
I
think that's
did.
awesome. Yeah,
That
she was
is awesome.
for people that don't know, Julia, who is 16, is the drum major of the Petaluma High School marching band, and she was in the background, kind of
Yeah.
it was a background. It was film
Well,
of her
yeah.
marching in the Veterans Day parade, but they used it and they talked over the video, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool.
Kim, I
Um,
can't believe you said she was 16. I remember
I
talking to
know.
her on the air live on
Mhm.
KGO once or twice about movies when she was like 8, I think.
Oh, really? Oh, that's
Yeah, she
funny.
was really young, and I remember like she was really smart, and she had I can't
Yeah.
remember what we were talking about, but I thought, oh geez, whatever what she said, I thought, God, I totally missed that. Out of the mouths of babes, I
Isn't
thought
that
at that
funny?
moment. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, she is a smart one, that
yeah,
Julia. It's
yeah.
funny because my kids know you. They feel like they know you, and
Yeah, yeah.
so
I feel like
we'll
I know them as well.
we'll be
Yeah.
scrolling through movies and they'll ask, "Well, what does Tim think Sika say about this one?
Yeah.
What did he say about this
Yeah.
one, mom?" So
Yeah.
you're a big name at our house always.
Oh boy. Oh
But
boy.
yeah, I can picture this weekend if it's rainy out, Jacob and I with the hot chocolate and snuggling on the couch watching In Your Dreams. You've got my weekend all set for me. I'm excited now to roll into it.
All right. Goody goody.
Um, your classic movie recommendation of the week this week is Romeo and Juliet. This one from
Yes.
1968.
68. Now, have you seen it?
I
You
no,
have to.
I have seen
You have.
many Romeo and Juliet movies, but I don't remember if I've seen this one, and if I have, it's been a really long time.
Well, this is the film that got me into, or rather emotionally connected me to, the work of William Shakespeare. I mean, I had read, yeah, I had read Shakespeare in ninth and 10th grade, The Merchant of Venice and Romeo and Juliet and Hamlet and all those. But this movie, this movie got me to love Shakespeare. It's Franco Zeffirelli's very sexy, sumptuous, action-packed, adrenaline-fueled, thrilling, and emotionally devastating. It's really, really sad. Screen adaptation of Shakespeare's tale of two doomed lovers, both from feuding families. Juliet, of course, of the House of Capulet, and Romeo of the House of the Montagues. And to people listening who think Shakespeare is dull, uninvolving or boring. I challenge them to watch this movie and not be caught up in its energy and its storytelling and its youthful verve and eroticism. This is a very erotic but tasteful adaptation. And this, to my mind, is the first and only cinematic telling of this story where the leads were cast according to the ages indicated in the play. Juliet, played by Olivia Hussey, in that photo there, was 15 when she was cast, and Leonard Whiting, who played Romeo, was 17. And they're both beautiful to look at, and they radiate such energy and sexiness that it's impossible to not get caught up in their romantic plight. I love this movie so much. Everything, mostly every choice of the director's works in concert here, with the one glaring exception of Zeffirelli chopped out Juliet's potion speech. But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. But everything about this film works, from its stunning visuals to Sir Laurence Olivier's narration of the piece, from its superb production design and Oscar-winning costumes to its commercial success at the box office. And yeah, it's deeply moving. It's emotionally powerful. The Nina Rota music score, I know when you hear it, you'll say, oh, that's where that theme came from. But watch the film with a box of Kleenex close by. That's all I can tell you. It's a great, great movie, one you can watch again and again, and one by which you'll still be deeply moved and totally transported. The period recreation of this movie is so detailed. You really feel like you're back in 14th century Verona where the story takes place. But this is just a fabulous, fabulous movie. And so, like I say, you have to watch the film with a box of Kleenex next to the TV. It's very sad, but it's like, you know, what's the phrase? You know, you go and you have a good cry. It's a good cry. You feel good afterwards because, it's a classic tragic story of two doomed lovers who are from feuding families who hate each other.
If she was 15 when the movie was filmed and he was 17, and you're saying the movie was super sensual, is there something here that maybe
I don't know. You know, this was a different time. It was 1967 when they shot it. I think they probably, I don't know if they could have gotten away with what they did. In fact, I don't know a whole lot about this. Olivia Hussey died, I think, a year ago. She had breast cancer. She died, but she and Leonard Whiting sued Paramount. It was kind of a flimsy lawsuit about being sexually exploited. Now it was 55 years later, so they had trouble. I think they tried to sue several times, but the judge kept throwing out the lawsuit. So I only bring that up to say, I think they might be able to make it today with actors that age, but it would have to go through a lot of what's the word? You know, a lot of whatever. A lot of people would be involved. Decisions would have to be made. The filming would have to be, you know, there'd be intimacy coordinators, I'm sure, on camera, because they're both naked in the movie.
You brought a lot of memories out for people with this one. Tammy says, I saw it in 9th grade literature class.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wes also says, I remember watching it in high school in the 80s. Teacher rolled on the TV on a cart with the old Betamax tape.
Interesting.
So,
yeah.
Eileen says, my friend and I took the train to San Francisco to see this when it first came out. We were teens and thought this movie was amazing.
Yeah, it did have a big, its primary audience were teenage moviegoers. They were just, because of the age, they were able to relate to the age of the characters. Yeah.
Teacher Lori says, oops, sorry, you must see this. Beautiful. It was R-rated in 1967 because of butts. Yeah. She says, my mom took me since I was 11. Your mom was okay with butts. That's all right. And then Muriel says, I remember this. I was so young. This movie is why I became a cinephile, but I didn't know it yet. I was transfixed, and it has not become dated for me.
Yeah.
And Miriam Margolis, I don't know who Miriam Margolis is.
She may be, I could be wrong. Is she the nurse? Does she play the nurse? in it. I'm not sure. I'd have to check. But see, I mean, yeah, people love this movie. I mean, yeah, people love it.
Yeah, Miriam Margolyes, British Australian actress. Um,
Do you have a picture by any chance?
yeah, but it's when I look at her, I see I
Or
see the
maybe she played the mother.
when I look at her, I see for the character from Harry Potter. That's what here's a picture of her. Wait, hold on. I have to take this other picture down so that I can bring this picture up. It'll take me half a second. Hold on.
That's okay. I'm liking looking. Yes.
There she is.
No, wait. I don't. No, I don't. I don't
No?
think. No, I don't think it was her. Yeah, she was in Harry Potter, but the actress. I'm blanking on her name. The woman that played the nurse looks like her, but it's not. It's not. I believe it's not the same actress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
She's a good actress anyway. We like her.
Oh, yeah,
anyway.
she's great. Yeah, and she's great in Harry Potter. Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll do the recap, Tim Sika. The first movie that you reviewed for us is Frankenstein. You said you think this may be one of the best movies of the year. Excellent script. You said it's beautiful to look at. It's shot like a gothic opera. And fans of Frankenstein will find a lot to love about this movie. You highly recommend Frankenstein. Of the Alabama Solution, you said the movie is made from footage from cell phones carried by prisoners. It's shocking. You said it's unsettling, that it exposes the prison system, the corruption, the blatant racism. This movie you called incendiary, and then said everyone should see the Alabama Solution. You recommended it's on HBO Max. Also, I should say Frankenstein is on Netflix. Reifenstahl. It is a documentary about the propaganda filmmaker in Hitler's Germany. Of this movie, you said you're disgusted by this woman, Leni Riefenstahl, that she allowed her art to be used for such ugliness. The story of this woman, Tim, you said it made your blood boil. And seeing it in the current political climate was even more distressing. But it is, you said, a great documentary, and you called it one of the best movies of the year.
Yep. Yep.
Next movie is In Your Dreams. And you said this was a nice surprise. A lot of good messages in this movie, gorgeously animated, imaginative. You said it's visually stunning. There's a touching sibling dynamic, which we need a lot of around this house. A good example of how to be nice to each other.
Yeah, right.
And you said it's a way to look at life that is empowering for kids. It is called In Your Dreams, and it too is on Netflix, and it drops today. And your classic movie rec of the week is Romeo and Juliet from 1968, which brought up a lot of memories for the people here. You said watch it with the Kleenex because it gets you a little emotional. You said it's deeply moving. It's also very sensual. And the period recreation is amazing. You said it makes you feel like you're back there with them in a different time and place. And you said this is a movie that is worth rewatching or watching for the first time. From 1968, Romeo and Juliet.
And that's a wrap.
That is a wrap. Teacher Lori writing, agree, Leni Riefenstahl complicit, no excuses.
Yeah.
Talent does not excuse horrific behavior.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah.
And we've got a question for you. This one comes from Susan, who says, Tim, have you seen Mr. Bates versus the Post Office? It's a movie out of the UK, but it's super good.
Oh, no, I'll make a note of that. Mr. Bates versus the Post Office. I will check. I'll do my best to check it out. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Let us know what you think of it.
Yeah. Thanks, Susan. Yeah.
What else? Oh, how about Romeo and Juliet? Great cars, great guns, no telephones. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah, I don't either.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, you are just a prince, a prince from the ancient times to come back every week and give us the good stuff at the movies with Tim Sika. Have a really great weekend, Tim.
You too, Kim, and thanks for having me, and I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks for being here.
Okay,
Bye, Tim.
You betcha. Bye.